You're listening to the Culture Junkie Podcast, where we go beyond the surface of pop culture.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Xandra. Together, we dive into the craft, process, and passion that drive today's creators. This is the Culture Junkie Podcast. Life moves fast and your insurance should too. With on-the-fly insurance, you can compare rates, customize your coverage, and get a quote in minutes. It's 100% online, 100% secure, and 100% Canadian. So whether you're on the go or planning ahead, protect what matters most with ease. Head to ontheflyinsurance.com and get protection made easy. Built for life on the fly. Links in the bio or in the show notes below.
Hey guys, I'm here with Pól Ó Géibheannaigh, journalist, raconteur, interesting guy all around. Paul's got a bunch of stuff going on. We met during COVID in Barbados when the place was deserted. And, I thought it'd be a great guy to have on the podcast. So here we are. Paul, how are you?
Good, oh, good. It's good to see you again. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
It's been 5 years now since COVID hits, in Barbados.
Yep, 5 years in March. I remember how deserted it was. You were the only person there. So Xandra and I thought, hey, let's see why this guy's here.
It was like an end of the world, like a dystopian nightmare. Yeah, after you left, I was there for another couple of weeks, and took me a while to get home. 5 different countries later, and 2 months, and a big dent in the bank balance. Got there eventually, but it was quite an experience. But things have changed a lot since then, and I've been moving on. Then I was working for Al Jazeera. It didn't change me, but I think the COVID changed everything. It changed people's habits a lot. Yeah, it changed. I was doing journalism a lot more then. Then with COVID, you couldn't really travel, couldn't do anything. So I had to kind of reinvent things. So I was going stir crazy when I got back home. Finally got home 2 months later, and had an idea for a movie. And kind of didn't know much about the movie business. Kind of knew one director, pestered him, and then eventually he came to see me, and here we are 5 years later. I've got a script, I've got a movie, I've got a whole team, and I got $6 million to make the movie. So that changed a lot. It changed a lot for me.
That's amazing. What was the most memorable Barbados COVID moment for you?
COVID moment? Oh God! I found out I couldn't leave the island because I was in transit going to Beckway. I was going for work, and I was just being stuck. Stuck in the middle of trying to get. I couldn't believe it was actually happening. At one stage, I actually got a taxi to the airport. They closed the airport, as you know, declared martial law in Barbados. I just couldn't believe it was happening. So I had to see if I actually got a taxi to the airport to see what was if it was actually real. And yeah, it was closed. Luckily enough, I got a EU rescue flight out to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt to Stuttgart to Vienna to Amsterdam, and then finally back to London. 2 months later, it took like 2 months to get home. And it was like, I wish I'd never got on the plane. But then I would never bet you because I was going for work with a friend of mine in the University of Winchester, some archaeology work, which on the Tuesday was fine, but the COVID spread so rapidly. And then by the time I got there, it was Saturday morning. And I met you guys. It just swept the planet. That was the very beginning of it. And no, it was the uncertainty. It was a not knowing. Not knowing was a big part of it, because I was getting bounced around the world. I went west and the east, ended up going halfway around the world. And if I didn't have money in the bank, I'd have been screwed. Really, really screwed.
The word dystopian sticks with me because I remember walking down the main road there where I've never seen anything like that so deserted. It looked like zombies were going to come around the corner because there was nothing else.
It was like an end of the world thing. There wasn't even a chicken around around, and it was crazy. It was crazy. I felt like when it was high season in Barbados, it should have been packed down those areas because I've been there before. It was just like it was like the end of the world. It was like a dystopian nightmare. Walking along the beaches, which should be crowds of people, there was nothing. It was very like a end of the world experience, like last guy on the planet, because there was no tourism, there was nothing, there was no police, there was nothing. It was bizarre. All the hotels closed, everything. It's just weird dystopian experience, and then. You get back into Europe then, and then everyone had their own idea of lockdowns. Nothing was joined up, and even to get a flight, you couldn't even get a flight. It was crazy times. Yeah, hopefully I won't have to go through that again, because it was just it was going to dive into the unknown.
Right.
No. Yeah.
So tell me, how did you get into journalism in the first place?
Journalism, well, I started off, I was doing a master's at SOAS, the School of Orient and African Studies, Middle East Studies. So I was finishing my dissertation in Beirut, and they just killed the Prime Minister out there, because I was out there for a wedding in Syria, and I stayed a little longer and thought it's a good place as any to to do my dissertation, and I started finding reports. I knew some people who just moved to Jazeera, and all went to the same university. So, question of not what you know, it's who you know. So I started finding reports for them. I went as time went on. I got to know the producers, and then it came because I kind of specialized in this Iran, and the Shiite world in Lebanon. Became a bit of an expert in that, and one thing led to another. And before I knew, I was on TV all the time. I mean, it was just yeah, and I could talk. I knew my basically. If you know your onions, if you know what you're talking about, basically that's half the battle. But yeah, it's just it was just serendipity more than anything. And if you can talk, you can write. If you can write an essay, you can write a report. It's not difficult.
Was there a story that you covered that fundamentally changed how you saw the world?
Fundamentally changed, I suppose. No, not really. Not fundamentally changed. I always saw the words. I suppose the Israel-Palestine thing would be a big one, yeah. Because when I first went to the Middle East, I went down around the south with a guy from the FT and the ANC, and we toured. This is like after liberation of the south by the Hezbollah, when the Israelis were occupying it. They had the proxy forces there, South Lebanese army. I mean, no one had told me about that before. I mean, you've seen some of your own eyes. I saw the secret prisons they had and so on and so forth. That's what kind of qualified my interest in the Middle East. It was like, no one's told me about this before. Why has this been reported? There's only one journalist covering it, was Robert Fix. Because he was out in the Middle East at the time where most journalists were sitting at a desk and the parachuted in. Whereas Fisk was based there all the time. So it would be that. I mean, that changed my outlook. And visiting the refugee camps, just seeing the 60 years after creation of State of Israel and the Nakba, the Palestinian issue, it's just unresolved. So that's still unresolved. Now it's probably worse. Look at Gaza. Look what's happened today. I mean, it's not getting any better. I mean, this is that changed my view, changed my outlook. This got me interested in doing the Middle East.
So that kind of prepared you for your filmmaking journey now, eh?
Yeah, kind of give me an insight. I mean, the filmmaking journey kind of started because I couldn't do the journalism anymore because of COVID. So I had an idea for a movie. I mean, it's on the back burner in my head. It was the Northern Bank job, which was basically it's the British, the biggest bank heist in British and Irish history, which was the Northern Bank, which was happened in Belfast about 2004. It's where about 26.5 million sterling was taken from the Northern Bank job, Northern Bank in Belfast. It's basically part of the peace process. The final jigsaw in the peace process, the final key was the decommissioning of weapons and the demilitarization of the of Northern Ireland, right? So you had basically a ceasefire where one side was demanding the other side surrender, and the IRA wouldn't surrender the weapons, so why should they? I mean, because there was no ceasefire, you don't, right? So basically, as far as we can understand, they let them rob the bank. They paid them off. But we're telling the story from we're not pointing fingers because, of course, there's never anyone ever questions for it. The investigation is still ongoing. There's never anyone arrested. The money's never been found. Yeah, they changed the currency. It was the first time ever in history because in the north of Ireland, every bank makes its own currency. All the Northern Bank notes had to be recalled, but it took them 2 weeks to do this. Allowed them plenty of time to get rid of the money. So, I mean, there's talk about being the IRA pension fund. Sinn Féin became the biggest political party overnight. But we're telling it from a story of a kind of an angle of like magical realism. We're telling it that there was a guy whose husband worked in the bank. His family was taken hostage, so he was forced to hand over the money. He worked in the holding centre. So all they did was pull up with a van, load the money in, and they drove away. His wife was taken hostage and gagged and bound. So it's actually her story. So the story is, in her mind's eye, she gets a visitation from a Celtic supernatural entity. And he's cursed. So we're still using magical realism as the vehicle, right, to tell the story. So you can't Master and Margarita kind of thing. So in her mind's eye, he's showing her what's actually going on. And takes you back through history and pre-history, same players. But he's cursed, has to get his laugh back. Ireland has to be united for him to get his laugh. His curse lifted, sorry. So it's all about that. But it's actually, he's orchestrating events, even though the players don't really realize they're doing. So it's a bit of a twist, a supernatural twist.
That's a great twist. So you got some mythology in with the bank robbery. So tell me then, what was the steepest learning curve to get into this film industry? Obviously, it's a totally different thing than being
a completely different animal. I mean, it's a completely different animal. I mean, the steepest learning curve was lots of meetings. There's lots of meetings. It happens very slowly. I mean, as executive producer, I mean, it's just that. Steep learning curve. I mean, I knew nothing about the film business. I mean, like I said, the TV is very much immediate, more direct animal. The film business, I didn't know that the script came last. Who knew that? I thought the script would come first. I mean, things like that. But your treatment, it's just a different approach. It's a longer game. It's over years. It's just Yeah, I would say it's a completely different approach to how you're doing with the Ministry of News and so on and so forth. I mean, it's just it's kind of flips it on its head kind of thing.
Mm. So you've always been a storyteller, right?
Always,
A
yeah,
raconteur,
I can
so
tell you
to
a story.
speak.
Yes.
So how does your Irish identity, influence the way you tell stories?
Well, the Irish love to talk, as you probably know, and
I know.
and it's kind of we tell stories. We're kind of reared on around tales of heroes and myths and so on and so forth. And playing with words is the thing. Like to play with words, painting pictures of words. I mean, this is very much an Irish thing. You read all the great literary giants, Joyce, Heaney, I mean, Beckett. They're all Irish, all Nobel Prize winners. Yeah, we like playing with language. So the Irish are very good at that. And yeah, just playing at being playful, being colorful. The language is very important.
Say the tone, not only the color of the language, the tone and the cadence all plays into the way the story is told, don't you think?
Yeah, it sure does. Well, that's the nature of the Irish. There's sentiments. We're fond of a yarn. There's always a little bit of twist at the end. There's always this twist or a bit of a glint or there's a bit of a mischievous character, which the character in the movie has, the Gruagach.
Yeah.
He's like an Irish Bigfoot kind of character, kind of big hairy because he's of course with this he's called a Gruagach. He's actually a brownie.
Tell me, what do you think's misunderstood about Ireland and the creative process that ties to it? Because we see what we see, in the theater, we see the big Hollywood productions, and they have a certain
Age Irish thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much through rose-tinted spectacles. I think they're glad that through the eyes of the diaspora. I mean, Ireland's reality is not the Hollywood reality or the stage reality. I mean, that's very much that twee image of old postcards of leprechauns and rainbows. I mean, that's far from the truth. I mean, Ireland's it's a booming economy. It's a young population, but Ireland's changed a lot. I mean, it's changed in the last 10, 15 years. 25% of the population of Ireland is now left from abroad. Are immigrants, and the Irish don't have a problem with that because we exported people for years, so we can't complain, and we embrace that. Yeah, if you're Irish, if you're born from wherever, you could be from Africa, as long as you're Irish, you're Irish, you don't have a problem with it. So we're still welcoming, still very welcoming.
My family's from Armagh, right? So there you go.
The ocean of Ireland.
So tell me, the Banshees of Inisherin, did you like it?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
No, I've been told it's good. I've yet to see it. It's on my list. I haven't seen it. I know what it's about.
For me, I watched it. It wasn't what I expected, and I'm not going to say anything else because next you can tell me what you think of it after.
All right.
After the fact.
I haven't seen it.
Anyway.
I should have seen it. But it's one of
so anyway, so you kind of reinvented yourself, eh?
Yeah, well, no choice. I mean, because there was nothing doing. I mean, still because you couldn't travel. The various lockdowns, and that to me, we had it harsh here in London. I mean, God, it was like I was going stir crazy. So this was the idea, and I kind of knew I had something because I've been talking to some producers and directors before. I told them the story, and they said make a great movie. And like I said, I knew one director. I badgered him till he listened to me. I got back, and then we did this all through luck. Then he came back and says, "Look, let's make it magical realism." And then took 2 years to write the script, and then we managed to get the funding. Now we're just waiting to go into production. Production should be next year. I mean, the movie's called Macala, which is echoes or reverberations, because the investigation is still going on. This goes all the way to the White House, all the way to 10 Downing Street. And this is how big it goes. Somebody pays somebody off. How can you rob a bank for 2 or 3 days in middle of Belfast, which is one of the most secure cities in Western Europe, and get away with it? So yeah, I mean, the story's got legs. I mean, it always has legs, but now it's a different animal. Now it's a movie. So
tell me something. So what advice would you give somebody who's looking to change careers? You seem to be the guy who dives right in. What would you tell them?
Dive right in. I mean, just be confident. Be confident and just perseverance. If you think you've got something, go for it. Don't let them, because everyone told me you'd never do it. I was getting never going to happen. And now I mean, I've done it.
There you go.
But just sheer perseverance, be mindless sometimes, and just stick to your guns.
Good advice. Good advice. Tell us about this tech startup that you're doing now.
Well, we're doing a tech startup too. A good friend of mine. It's based on the sports shirts. Basically, it's the last dead space on the football field, the rugby pitch, on the soccer pitch, on wherever's pitch, which is basically advertising on the shirt. So using the LED technology, fiber optics. Basically, when a player scores a goal, all the cameras, the world are focused on him. Say it's primetime television, so it's selling the advertising rather than static advertising. You're changing it. You can buy the advertising on the shirt. It's the last dead space. So it's just it's monetizing that. Basically, that's the, and we're still on the R&D phase. But Yeah, we're pitching at the moment. I mean, it's a good idea as far as I can see.
How'd you get involved in that?
Through a friend of mine, actually, he was involved in marketing for years over a pint. We started talking about it, and I ran through the AA, ran through artificial intelligence. It can't be done. It can be done, and it hasn't been done. So we're running it now.
Right.
We're a meeting with some guys from FIFA and the rugby RFU. There's obviously there's static advertising, so we still have to move it to the next level now. To make
Right.
sure that we secure the intellectual property and so on and so forth.
So you guys are trying to add a dynamic aspect to the advertising that's right static. Do you see a space in that for fan engagement? You know, for a back and
It
forth.
can be a two-way street. I mean, there's no reason why it can't be. I mean, there's no reason why it can't have some kind of feedback, some kind of with the technology today that there can be some kind of two-way street when you buy the shirt. I mean, there can be just more than just advertising, you know, because there's all other stuff you can embed in it as well, you know, given your own history. I mean, it's open to development. I mean, there's other means you can. Yeah, there has to be. I mean, you can buy a certain shirt or something like that. I mean, you have a limited edition one or whatever, and use the technology in the shirt to pull fans or whatever. I mean, it can be a two-way street.
What does success look like for the startup in the next 12 months?
It looks pretty good. I think. I think we're actually onto something.
What would you consider successful? You know, where would you like to see it?
If we get through the first pitches. I mean, if we put my approach in FIFA and the rugby guys, just make them see that it's a viable proposition. If we can get them, convince them that it's a viable proposition, that's success. Right? And then we take it to the next level. I mean, small steps.
Do you think there's an avenue or a pathway into North American sports or even sports at the amateur level that isn't just, you know, not at the highest level?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's going to affect every sport. The technology is there. I mean, it can be used. It can be used right across anything with a strip. There's no reason why it can't be used not just for advertising, but for other things as well. Like, the technology is there. I mean, it can be it can be used to track players. I mean, it can be used for various other technologies, program or whatever. I mean, I think that's still under development. It's less to be seen.
Interesting. Listen, okay, so we met you 5 years ago. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
A lot richer, hopefully. 5 years. 5 years from now, hopefully this will be a success, and hopefully the movie will be up and produced by then. We hope that starts production next year. Hopefully I'll be doing another movie. That's what I really want to do, and just continue what I'm doing, applying the same, opening the ideas, trying to break new ground always. I mean, and exploring what's out there. I mean, see how far we can push it.
Right. Is there a project that you haven't started yet, but you dream about doing? Something that you think, oh, that would be great if I just can get going on this thing?
Well, there's one about vernacular AI. I mean, because being an Irishman, I have problems with Google, Amazon, Alexa. You know, they don't really understand me that well, especially when you know what I mean. And so I want to try and unlock some kind of software that can be used comprehensively, so where I don't have to keep repeating myself, where I don't get frustrated, where I don't get doing just this kind of every day, because I give up with them after a while because there's no point. They don't get my accent. So that's another thing on the back burner I'm trying to do. To take quite a bit of investment to do that. But that's what I'd like to do. That would leave a legacy.
Aye, that would be cool. That would be very cool. Yeah. So tell me something. You ever going to go back to Barbados?
Do you know what? One day. Not just yet. Not just yet. Because God, I'd like to go back. I'd like to go back under better circumstances. I mean, I'd like to go back for a proper holiday.
Did you have any non-COVID time there at all or was it COVID the whole time?
I mean, I couldn't even get a hotel. When the hotel we met you guys, I had one night. Then I had to go and get a condo, and I was getting rinsed. I was paying $300-400 a night. It was like war property. This guys just saw dollar signs. There was nothing else. God, I was going through money. But no, Barbados ain't cheap. It's not cheap.
It ain't.
It's not cheap. Even
so
for locals,
what was Germany like?
Germany was cool. Germany was okay until I read around. Just Germans, aren't they? It was like a whole nation, but
was it locked down or was it? It was locked down,
but there was social distance. But the Germans were paying. You could still buy a beer. You could still go out and about. Social distancing, very practical. And the country Austria was pretty much the same. Because my ex-wife is in Austria, so I saw her there. The people who had most were the Dutch. The Dutch had I mean, they're very practical. Everything was open. Everything was working. Dutch people there obey the rules. By the time I got back to London, God, it was like awful here. Awful here. It was just just panic and fear.
Was that right?
The British government didn't deal with it well at all. I mean, that's proven by the government. Boris Johnson said that the body's piled high. I mean, my mother died of COVID too.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough one. So I couldn't get the funeral. All the restrictions because
the restrictions were that severe, right?
Yeah, because they had all these different tiers. I booked the flight to get the plane back to Ireland. I stood at the bus stop. So I left. It was around 3 o'clock to get a bus for McLean was 8:30. The bus never came because people panic buying because they were ringing at just tier 4 things, and they never came. By the time I was just leaving London. I was just got the bowl at the Green Station, and my flight left. I had to come all the way back to London, and then I went back to the airport again and tried to buy a ticket. And because of the COVID restrictions, they wouldn't let me buy a ticket. The desk was closed. And I left my phone in a bar, and the bar closed, everything shut down. And then, then I just give up. I spent like £500 trying to get back to the funeral, and I got nowhere. I mean, just
wow, that
was kicking the teeth, like, you know. I mean, it really was. And,
so how long have you been in London now?
30 years, believe it or not, 30 years on
30 years.
30 years.
30 years, and you still got that accent.
I got that accent. It's not going away. It's not going away anytime soon.
That's it.
Yeah, 30 years. I bet that I was a bit longer here than I have there. I mean, I'm a Londoner.
This is it. Listen, Paul, thanks for this. This has been absolutely fabulous. It's really nice to catch up for you.
Pleasure,
I got one more light question to wrap it up. Movie of your life. Who plays you?
Movie of my life. Who plays me? Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Oh, he's way too tall.
Nah. Yeah, let's get the other guy. Yeah, Liam Neeson, or what do you call the other guy in Dublin?
Or the other guy.
Very Cillian. What's his name?
Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy? I just said Colin Farrell, but that's me.
Colin Farrell? Hey, the team he passed. I let him go. Colin Farrell would do it. Yeah. No problem. Take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
Buddy, great to catch up with you.
Likewise.
Thanks for your time, Matt. Listen, we'll be in touch and we'll catch up sooner rather than later.
Sure, Keith. No problem.
All right,
pleasure.
stay well.
Thanks very much.